Radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Wait a minute. Wait. Are we on? Is this real? Oh, whoa, we're on the radio again. Hello, all of you, everyone listening in the greater Seattle, Puget Sound area, and those of you listening online, and all of you listening later on to the Talking Real Money podcast. Welcome to Talking Real Money, the Real Money radio show. Wow. Whoa. So nice to be back.
Indeed it is. It's you've been kind of a choppy fall. We're here 1 hour every once in a while, and most of the time we're not here. And, you know, it's hard because I don't talk that much at home. I kind of need the outlet. So this is good. I'm glad I'm here.
You and me both. I kind of sit around the house mute most of the week. It's Saturday. I can talk.
I got the mute button on. There you go. So, yeah, it's good to be
I
here.
am just excited. And, you know, I want to encourage the Washington Huskies football team. Congratulations, by the way, on your Apple thing.
Yeah.
You won an Apple. I'm
They
glad
did.
you got your
Yeah,
Apple.
they got the apples.
But here's the thing.
Oh.
Can you do me a favor and throughout next year, play really, really well so you get all night games?
Yeah. Well, I mean, who knows? It's a wild
night
card.
games are good for us. They're okay.
I know, because then we get to
It's
air
those
the show.
afternoon games that mess us up because the
Indeed.
pregame show then starts at 6 a.m.
Because 12 hours of pregame is just
12
about
hours
what's
of pregame.
required, as always.
Hi, this is Talking Real Money, the show where we talk about real money, and your money is real, we hope, unless you have cryptocurrencies. And the number is, oh boy, do I get in trouble for crypto. Every time I
please.
say cryptocurrencies, I get in trouble with some cryptidiot.
The texts and
855
emails begin. Yes, the phone number. Go
Gosh,
ahead.
I've got one for you later. 855-935-TALK is our telephone number. Yes, we still use telephonic instruments, believe it or not. We cannot.
And we
still
accept cash
playing-
payments, too, by the way, still.
We
as well.
do not accept Bitcoin, though.
No, we don't, but cash is still fine.
But we're still looking for a way to do psychic connections over the radio show where we can just just know right away what you're thinking. But haven't figured that out yet.
Actually, on most
We
calls,
know what you're
I'm just going to say, yeah, so please don't call us and say, I'm thinking of taking all the money out of my retirement fund.
Oh, no,
and blank.
do call us and
Okay.
say that.
Yeah, 'cause
Please do.
I know then that the answer is easy on that one. So
Because the last month, November has not been good to stocks.
no, if you're a stock investor, I think we're technically in a correction now. Correct, 10%
Yeah, we're
down
not
from the
from
most
the
recent
high.
high. Yeah.
Right. You have to you have to play a little fast and
Yeah.
loose with the numbers to make the rest of the news media happy. They love saying things like correction and bear market.
It's
Those are
easy.
just fun. Well, they're fun.
Yeah, and
Because-
if you're an owner of technology, things like Apple and Amazon and Microsoft, you're down like 20% from the high. So it's been much more
Yeah.
dramatic. It's really the FANG
Apple's-
stocks that went straight up have taken a bite out of you since then.
Apple is now, its market cap is below Amazon. Or not
No.
Amazon, Microsoft.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So big news. I mean, so I did a little poll. I had my Jerry Seinfeld-esque group over for Thanksgiving.
No, he pulled a bunch of 11-year-olds.
The answers may have been similar. I really don't know. But leaving that as it may, I asked people because we've got this it's been a little bumpy, right? So I asked people. I didn't do it at the table because I thought they wouldn't share their true feelings. I did it kind of privately with each person. I asked them, now that the market has gone down, right? I mean, because it has gone down. What should you do about that? Now, what would you guess, Don, people said?
Oh no! What they would have said? Oh yeah, when the market's going down, I'm getting out. I get out when it's going down.
9 out of 10 people said sell.
Yeah.
9 out of 10. I mean, it's like, really?
Yeah.
So
Here's Tom. They don't listen to our show.
they apparently a pretty clear indication. So I immediately said, "Okay, Google, play Talking Real Money podcast," which we then shared for the rest of the afternoon. So that was good.
Did you?
Yeah.
See, I usually say, "Hey Siri, play Talking Real Money podcast."
By the way, it makes people leave the house more quickly. I noticed too.
Now she's playing it. Hey, Siri, don't really do that.
That's probably going on at my house, too, right now. So who knows?
No, seriously, Siri just went
started
off.
playing. Started doing it. So, I mean, it's fascinating. I mean, I asked my wife about this because, she doesn't really pay attention to much of this. In fact, I think I've mentioned on the show, she doesn't really know.
You mean she doesn't pay any attention to you?
That's that too. But I mean, so she just she sort of blindly trusts me to make sure that our money's okay, which is very kind. Maybe misplaced trust, but
hey, excuse me, call Tom's wife.
I got a plan for you. So no, you would not be selling after the market went down. That is a
you
bad
should probably
strategy.
actually be buying more stocks.
But we got a pretty exciting thing coming up here in just a couple minutes. You're gonna like.
Well, no, we're actually right after the break. We are going to travel back in time 15 years. Woo! Stay with us.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Your number one financial goal must be retirement. As we live longer, our need for a substantial retirement nest egg has grown. That's why you must have a plan. And to help you map your route to a brighter future, I created Vestory's Better Retirement Guidebook. And you can get a free PDF copy right now at retirebetterbook.com. It's truly free and there is no obligation. So get your Better Retirement Guidebook now at retirebetterbook.com. retirebetterbook.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Please welcome Don McDonald. Thanks for taking part. Let's talk about the mutual fund industry. $60 billion moving into funds in January. Investors trusting the market again. Should they be trusting mutual funds, though?
Oh, they should have been trusting mutual funds all along, generally.
What are some of the, when you look at the scandal, what do you think the real problem there was?
Greed. Greed, absolutely, lots of greed.
But what were the things they were doing wrong that really stand out?
The problem was the industry was going through a tiny contraction, probably for the first time in anyone in the industry's memory at that point, except for maybe John Bogle, who's been there since the beginning of time. Companies like Janus were seeing outflows. They were seeing their assets under management decline. And so somebody said, how are we going to get a little bit more money? And I do mean a little tiny bit more money. And they came up with some schemes to attract more capital, and they got caught.
A lot of publicity, but in the end, are those scandals going to end up costing investors a lot of money?
No. The net cost to investors is negligible. There's not going to be a whole lot of expense. As a matter of fact, the numbers are being bandied about are pennies per shareholder. You're going to get a couple of cents back from these guys. It's not a lot of money. But what it did do was it damaged a decade, 2 decades of really great credibility that the mutual fund industry had built up, particularly the no-load side of the fund industry. They were perceived as, and for a lot of good reasons, as a very clean, safe, reasonable means by which to invest. And they just threw that goodwill out the window.
No, but if that's true, if goodwill is gone and people don't trust the industry, why are $60 billion going into mutual funds in January?
What's your choice? There's
ETFs.
ETFs are one option, but they still confuse people. Mm-hmm. They're not real confident in what they are and how they work. They have to buy them through a brokerage firm of some kind. So there's that other relationship. There's a lot of mistrust of brokers. With mutual funds, you're able to, particularly no-load funds, you're able to go directly to a fund company. It eliminates a middleman. It makes people a little more comfortable.
Do you like ETFs?
I like ETFs. Sure, absolutely.
As a good alternative?
As a good alternative to mutual funds. If you can buy them right, you got to make sure that you're not paying big commissions. You've got to buy them through a discounter and keep those costs down. Because when you're investing, it's all about cost. The more money you spend, the less money you make.
People don't understand that very much. Instead, they look at returns.
Right. No, it's not about returns. It's about spending less. You'll make more. The returns are, what's great one day is mediocre the next to pathetic. Janus was the best, they were the worst. You fall from grace, it changes.
It can change quickly. Let's talk about some of the things that may come out of this whole mutual fund mess. Some changes are being suggested. One of them that's working its way in Congress right now is getting rid of the 12B1 fee, which is a sales commission charge. And I didn't realize that 2 out of every 3 funds have a 12B1 fee.
Right.
Is that something that should be eliminated, or is that a necessary?
12B1 fees. 12B1 fees were one of these big scams pulled off by the Investment Company Institute, which represents the mutual fund industry. They went before Congress and said, you give us a marketing fee. You give it to us. You let us charge this and kind of hide it, so it doesn't look like an expense. You let us hide it over here. Call it something like a 12B1. No one will know what that means. And we'll bring in tons of money. And when we do, fees will go down. Well, they were half right.
Wow, that is a trip down memory. You sound great there. You sound just the same, by the way. All right, so let's have a little fun with that.
Somebody's going to get this right.
Yeah, we'll see. So
right off. But wait, before we go any further,
yes.
though, we were talking. This was from 2000. This was right after the .com crash.
Yeah.
2003, and the mutual fund industry was playing some games with return figures, and they got caught.
Late
caught
trading,
doing
wasn't it something
things.
too? They were doing some stuff.
They were trading on knowledge, on price knowledge they already had.
Correct. Yeah, it was below the belt.
Really, you notice what the overriding theme though of that is? What is it? Prices.
Yeah, prices.
To this day, it still costs.
I know. It really is. Okay, but let's have a little fun. Right. So that goes back to 2003. You did a great job there. But if you can call us and tell us the person interviewing Don on that program, which was a TV show, by the way, we're going to send you
the name of the TV show.
Well, no, that's part two. I was getting to that.
Oh, okay. All right.
We're going to send you the book free if you can tell me the name of the TV show. I'll send you a certificate for dinner for two somewhere. I'll get one of those ones from Costco.
Really?
Yeah.
Which book are you sending?
Financial Physics.
Physics,
you get
newest edition.
The newest edition. It's beautiful. You get a free copy of that, and if you can tell me the name of the TV show that Don was on with that other person, you get the book and the gift certificate, dinner for two.
855-935-TALK is the number, 855-935-8255. And it's the first person who gets
and by the way, yes, you made a very good point there. This 15 years ago, it seems like a long time to some people, but it's really not that long. But the point of the matter was you made a very good point that the reality is because the name Janus, for example, you mentioned Janus,
it has left the vocabulary.
It has. It was the company, right, where it was taking. I think I remember reading a story once that it was taking in money so fast that they couldn't. The mailroom couldn't cash all the checks that were coming in because remember Janus had the 4 funds that you had to own for technology that all owned the same things, by the way. So I think people owned 4 funds or whatever it was, and then they all went down very quickly in the early 2000s when the .com bust came along.
Yeah, who is the most well-known money manager at Janus Henderson these days? It's now Janus Henderson.
It's the Bond King, baby.
Who has been the Bond Joker.
Bond bum.
The Bond bum ever since.
He's not been very good.
Bill Gross.
Yeah, he's had a tough time.
Bill Gross took his brilliance from PIMCO to Janus and has not looked brilliant.
How long has it been, by the way? Like 3 years, 4 years? The returns have been...
4 years.
Yeah, okay. And has fund lost, what was it, like the one day, like in a week, huge negatives this year. So...
Yeah, but you see, here's the point I want to make with that. Here we had one of the hottest money managers in America, Bill Gross, the Bond King, PIMCO Total Return. You
can't go wrong with Bill.
Bill, these guys ride a lucky streak as if it was brilliance. And that's one of the biggest problems you face when you make money decisions is you're looking at people's track record and thinking to yourself, wow, they must be so smart.
When the reality is he kind of owned the right things for a period of time, and it was a decent...
Could it be luck?
Yeah, could it be luck? And by the way, there is Peter Lynch, who now does admit that he was in... Remember, he used to manage Fidelity Magellan back 100 years ago, and he had the hot hand, great track record, and he kind of admits today, I really own the right type of stocks at the right time. And then I got out at the right time.
I happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Bingo. Yeah.
855-935-TALK is our number. So who interviewed me on that interview, and what was the name of the show? A couple of prizes await those who get it right at 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. We'll bring those calls on the air to get the answers, right? 855-935-8255.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Keeping the podcast breaks as painless as possible is my goal. That's why I want to very quickly tell you about the only magazine I've ever heard of that is 100% real investing all the time. There's no business news, no speculative advice, and certainly no lifestyle stuff. It's called Real Investing Journal. I publish it every quarter, and you can get 2 full years for only $25 at realinvestingjournal.com. That's realinvestingjournal.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
855-935-TALK is the number to call with your questions your thoughts and your ideas and your confusion about managing money and investing, but also to answer the contest question. Who interviewed Don in that interview we just played?
15 years
and what was
ago.
the name of the television show
that it was
from
on
15 years ago? 855-935-TALK.
I want to finish the thought, too, around Thanksgiving, because I didn't mean to pick on my fellow diners.
Did we mention
that day.
Thanksgiving?
Well, yeah, because I remember I mentioned my little informal poll around what do you do when the market goes down. I didn't mean to pick on people, but the bottom line is, here's what you really should be doing. Nothing. Because your portfolio, it's sad. Oh, well, no, that's not true.
Hey,
you get
that
extra.
that is lazy. That is just lazy.
You could get an extra helping of turkey or maybe dressing, or if you're really in good shape, more fudge pie. But the reality is, your portfolio should be constructed for good times and bad times, both. That's it.
Yeah,
that really. I mean, so the dinner time conversation is not as exciting.
It should be done right to begin with. You shouldn't go along trying to tinker with it and fix it. You should build it correctly to start with. And that will mean that you are in the right position to ride out a bad market like the one we're having this month.
Yeah, the problem
so far this month.
The problem is everybody in the media, when they tell you this isn't going to be exactly like 2008, whatever it is, right? They make you think that this is the next big whatever coming along, that you got to do something. That's when you have to ignore the stuff.
It's time. Time to find out if somebody has the right answer.
Okay.
Let's find out first. Terry, welcome to Talking Real Money.
Thank you.
Hey, Terry.
Greetings.
Do you know who that was?
Well, I think it's my guess, it is the esteemed Tom Cock.
He broke the code.
He wins a book.
Yeah,
he wins a book. Now let's see if he knows the TV show.
Boy, this is shooting in the dark because I honestly don't know. So I'm going to try and make up a name that might somehow, luckily, be the correct name. I'll call it Financial Fitness.
Oh, well.
There you go. What a great name. We should have used that one.
Yeah,
no, that was the name of Paul's book, Financial Fitness Forever.
Yeah.
That was
so Terry.
Close, though.
Terry, we are going to get you Don's book. So hang on. We'll get your phone number. We'll get the book out to you. So we still have the second part of the question. Thank you for calling.
Thanks, Terry.
So we still need to know the
second
name
part
of the
still hangs
television
out
show.
there. What was the name of that short-lived television show?
Hey, come on.
How long
no,
was,
the show
how
was
long
on
was
the air
show
for like 23 years. I only did 6 of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Guy
So
named
Tom
Barry
was the
Mitzman.
host of the show.
Yeah.
Now, you see,
Yeah, that
now
makes
you
it
have a
easier.
clue.
Yeah, that makes it easier.
He hosted the show,
Right,
but
yeah.
what was the name of the show?
All right.
855-935-TALK is our number. 855-935-8255.
Oh, we got somebody who knows
you can win
me.
a dinner.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, no. It's somebody who knows you. No. No.
tell them I'll buy
Void.
him dinner anyway. So
Void.
we'll go.
Offer
Okay.
void where you know Tom. That's like, you know, my daughter and I, we used to sit around and watch Amazing Race, right? Watched it all the time. Loved Amazing Race. And we kept saying we should go on as a father-daughter team.
Yep.
And then we went online to look up the form, and it says anyone who has a family member who worked for the Walt Disney Company, which is loosely connected with Jerry Bruckheimer, cannot be a contestant on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. So my daughter works for Disney. We couldn't go on the show.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, now we don't really have time to go back because we have everybody lined up with the answers, but we got to go to the bottom of the hour. So we'll come back after the break. No? You want to try one more?
I don't hear the music. No, I don't hear the music yet, but if you want.
Okay. We got them all lined up. There's the music.
No, now I hear the music.
Yeah,
so
we got
it's
them
too
all,
late now.
So stay on there.
Hey, interesting point. I looked up Bill Gross's Global Unconstrained Bond Fund.
Yes.
The Class C shares, which are the most expensive at 1.79% per year. 3-year total average annual return, 0.01% negative per year. A loss every year for 3 years. We'll be back.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
You've heard that about 99% of all financial advisors are not always required to act in your best interest. You've probably been pitched financial products by all manner of friends and relatives, and the investing you have done is probably a hodgepodge of ill-fitting pieces that are doing little to provide the financial security you need. If you're looking for a 100% pure fiduciary, and we'll put that in writing, low-cost, fee-only advisor who always puts you first, give Vestory a call at 800-386-3004. That's 800-386-3004, or visit us online at Vestory, VESTORY.com.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
We're going to try and help you manage your money better, as we've been trying to do for a very long time. If you were listening earlier, even 15 years ago, Tom was doing a television show about money, and I was a supposed expert on it. I don't know why people thought I was, but apparently they thought so. But I've been doing it for several years. I've been doing talk shows since 1988. I got some of those too. I just recorded some of the audio from my old talk shows from 1988.
I think it's awesome.
Oh, and by the way, before we go to the phones, I'd want to mention that in the next few weeks, we're going to start putting Tom's old interviews and my old shows up on our new streaming radio channel, Real Money Talk Radio, at realmoneytalkradio.com.
Don't
so you'll
go
be able
there
to go back
yet.
in the past. We can go there now. There's something
okay.
there. It's just not this stuff.
Can I have some tapes, like not going back to the mid-'70s when I was a rock and
no,
DJ?
Those
Can I put
were
those
music.
Up? Okay.
Is it?
I
did
just
you
love
talk
the way
about
I play
real
the
money?
Carpenters and stuff, and no.
Did you talk about real money?
I didn't know anything
at
about
all.
Money then, frankly.
Right.
Other than how I made it, I was making money then, but I was spending it. I wasn't saving
in the basement with your new little Etch-a-Sketch printing press.
Making money. Got it. Oh, okay. So Steve has been standing by. I think Steve wants to see if we can get in on the action here, because so far we gave away the book.
The book.
Yeah.
Now it's the dinner for two.
That's right. We're looking for the name of the television show that I hosted that I had Don on, that show. So should we try Steve?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're in charge over there.
Finally. This is a big day for me. Hi, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you guys?
Good. Happy Thanksgiving. So what's
hey, same to y'all.
You have an answer for us, or do you have a question?
I'm going to take a shot at it. Was it serious money?
You got it. Good job.
Yeah, wow.
Well done. Yeah.
A PBS viewer.
A PBS viewer going way back.
Yeah,
Thanks to PBS viewers like you.
Yeah.
The show is no longer on the air. No, I'm kidding. That was a fun show to do. I had a ball doing it because you got to interview everybody, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
So it was a good deal.
Good.
So, well, hang on.
It was the first time I ever did a studio interview. I always did my interview sitting in another studio on a satellite link. Mm-hmm. That was the first time I did one in studio. It was fun to do it in studio, face to face.
You're very good. And as we said, that some of that material will be up on the longer pieces up on the web, right?
Yeah, at realmoneytalkradio.com.
All right, Steve, you hang on.
Thanks so much, Steve.
We're going to get you a dinner certificate, and we owe Omar one, too, so we'll do those, too.
Got to give it to Omar.
He is a raving fan, and we appreciate that. So, good job.
Yeah.
Serious money.
All right.
We got that.
855-935-TALK is our number. Now we move forward.
I know. We have other callers. They all...
It was their guest. So.
Oh, okay. So the other caller also had
they're
a guess.
Done.
So
I'm sorry.
over,
it was the first one. Sorry.
Yeah, that was good. So
you got to be fast. That's the other thing about when you call the show. Here's the other thing that happens. We do 2 hours on a Saturday, and everybody calls the last half hour, and then we're jamming to get everybody in. So call early, call often. Kind of like voting. Vote early, vote often. 855-935-TALK. I shouldn't even joke about that, should I?
No.
Not in this environment.
Not where you live, no, because it's
Not where I
fairly
live.
prevalent, apparently. And if you're worried that the S&P 500 has fallen 10% since its record high on September 20th, then call us. We'll talk about that. And what you should
Absolutely.
do. What do I do? It's down 10%. What should I do?
Okay.
You know? So
I think we already told them, but we're going to reiterate that because it's so darned important.
It is very important. You got to have a strategy. You got to stick to a discipline. You got to quit messing around. Otherwise, it's very
exactly.
expensive.
And stop believing there are people with prognosticative, predictive, essentially psychic powers. No one out there can ever tell you what the market is going to do. Will they try to tell you? Oh, yeah. But
Big
will
money.
they be right when they get lucky?
Yeah, and big money. I mean, I know it's all about the eyeballs, right? You got to get the people to watch you. Which is partly why my show's not on the air anymore, because it wasn't as interesting and I didn't predict anything, right? Not because of you, Don, because you were a great guest. Not all of the guests were as scintillating as you were, to say the least.
Oh, right. Guys like CEOs of Boeing and CEOs of
not
Starbucks.
nearly as interesting. No, they're not.
Did you ever get Bill Gates on?
Nope, I never got Gates on. I think maybe Barry Mitzman did, but because he had the show before I did. I think maybe he had Gates.
Oh, got it. So
yeah,
it was
and we never got Jeff Bezos.
him.
We tried Jeff Bezos, but he was very publicity shy, so never got him either, which is too bad. But
you see the thing on Saturday Night Live about Jeff Bezos? Where
Which
Steve
one?
Carell did a Jeff Bezos.
No, I did
just
not.
this last week.
Oh.
Steve Carell did a Jeff Bezos impersonation, and he said, it's just a coincidence that that I'm moving HQ2 to Donald Trump's hometown and the place where he lives now. That's just a coincidence.
Oh, that is funny. I love it.
It was good. And it's not because I bought the Washington Post so I can put up headlines like this.
Nothing
Good piece.
like that.
855-935-TALK is our number. I want to talk a little about crypto when we get back. Crypto weirdos.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Just as there are basic laws that govern our physical world called physics with a PH, there are also basic rules and concepts that impact our finances and investments. I call them financial physics with an F. In fact, 8 years ago, I wrote a book about them. For years, I've wanted to create an interactive version of that book to help readers better understand the concepts. So, since it was time for an update, I turned financial physics, with an F, into a special interactive multimedia version only on iBooks. It's the only platform that allows that. Because I want everyone to have access to this information, I decided to give this version away. Yes, it's totally free. So if you have a compatible Apple device, go get your copy of the new interactive book, Financial Physics, on iBooks. It's totally free, and it's available right now in the iBooks store.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
855-935-TALK or 8255 is our phone number. Give us a call. We'll talk about your life issues, your financial life issues, your money life issues, your confusion about investing, all the people who are out there really, really trying hard to lead you astray and take your money from you. 855-935-TALK. And some of those people that are trying to lead you astray, I believe, and truly take lots and lots of money from you are the folks in the cryptocurrency confusion, craze, nut job thing going on out there. Now, let me just grant all of you crypto crazies, I'm going to just grant you one part of your argument. Blockchain makes sense, and someday it will be used to manage
what is blockchain?
Currencies. Blockchain is a means by which you can track individual units of value, and they maintain their value, and they're identifiable, controllable, securable online little
so
bits of
it could be a way of transacting wealth from one person to another.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely. I'm going to grant all of you guys that. Please quit making that argument. I believe that eventually, Walmart uses blockchain to track their vegetables. It makes sense. But that doesn't mean cryptocurrencies make any sense. I argued in a podcast, Tom, that I did last week, the Talking Real Money Quick podcast that are podcasts only. I argued that to be a currency, something has to have a stable value. Nobody wants to make transactions in Venezuelan bolivars. Why? Because you don't know from 1 second to the next what it's actually worth. One day you can buy a loaf of bread for 1,000 bolivars. The next day it's 1,000,000 bolivars.
But you do raise an interesting point there in the fact that the bolivar is recognized by the government, whereas you can't use, as far as I know, cryptocurrency in this country to pay your taxes, for example.
Correct. And that's the other thing, is that it has to be generally fungible. It has to be something that is accepted by not just one store or some online website, but generally accepted within a particular society. Whether it could be a Venezuelan Bitcoin, and if everybody in Venezuela took it, I'll call it a currency, like the bolivar is within Venezuela. But in no country in the world is Bitcoin accepted as payment for taxes. So that it's not a currency. The other problem with people say cryptocurrencies are an investment. How are they an investment? Investments can grow larger in and of themselves. They can increase their value like Apple did, or Microsoft did, or Amazon did, or Starbucks did. A cryptocurrency only becomes more valuable when more people want it.
So there's no earnings, there's no dividends, there's no potential growth of that
basically
thing.
I said that on the podcast.
Yeah,
I said, what are they good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. Okay, this guy wrote me. He put private on every line of his note that he sent.
Don't share
his
this.
Private, don't, because he's very, very concerned about his privacy. He's a young person, apparently. He says, after listening to you, I can see why you have zero comments on this broadcast. Well, one, it wasn't a broadcast, it was a podcast, and I've never had any comments to any of the podcasts online. I do enjoy your show regarding other topics. Thank you. However, you knew there was one of those coming.
The butt is waiting.
You are not correct about several things in relation to crypto. You're just making my point in the next sentence. There are over 1,000 cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
How do you know which
doesn't
one?
speak well in your favor, correct.
No. And several promising ones that are under a penny right now. You ever heard of penny stocks?
Get me into a few of those sideways.
Yeah. This is still in its infancy phase. Another argument against it. Bitcoin began 10 years ago. People have the opportunity of a lifetime to make more than they probably ever could working at a 9-to-5 or even running their own business. In case you didn't know, this country has been bankrupt since the early 1900s. Our birth certificates are actually promissory notes.
Your birth certificate's a promise. How much is mine? I'd like to know. I'll go cash it in.
Mine's worth more than yours because I was born before you.
That's a good point.
We, the people,
yes,
are the collateral for the never-ending debt that keeps growing. Cryptocurrency is just as legitimate as the U.S. dollar. Do they take it to pay? Can you pay your taxes with it?
No.
XRP, which is another cryptocurrency, is supposed to bypass Bitcoin because it works faster. It's a faster Bitcoin. So instead of moving at the speed of light, it moves at the speed of light plus
a couple of addendums to your podcast. Number one, there was a company here in the Seattle area that set up over in eastern Washington where they could get power very inexpensively, like a quarter, as 25% compared to what you pay everywhere else. So they could run all these computers. Power. Right, they got to run all those computers. They just went bankrupt. Because they were trying to mine all these. And number two, here's the part about the investing part. I mean, how many investments have you owned that have declined in value by 80% in 1 year? I mean, that's pretty dramatic. Number two.
Only individual stocks.
Yeah, exactly. But in total, I think I read $700 billion with a B loss for people to put money into Bitcoin. That's how much it's gone down, and that's what it's cost investors. That's a lot of money.
Well, this guy's a Bitcoin hater. He just likes the penny cryptos.
Okay. Which
is even more crazy.
He's going to call Pablo Escobar's little brother, jump in there, because the Escobar coin, whatever they're calling it.
Bitcoin Light.
Bitcoin Light. Surprisingly, yeah.
It's not worth anything. It's worth less. All right, so he goes on and he says, I agree with this part. Banks all over the world are and will use this technology. Yep. I can't tell you what it is or where it all came from. But people have made millions off of crypto overnight. Yeah, they did in December of 2017. They made millions overnight.
Bingo.
And then they lost millions over the next 6 months. The goal of the powers that be is to have a cashless society because it's easier to control the population that way. And here he gives it all away. Next sentence. David Icke talked about this in the 1990s. For those of you who don't know, David Icke is a former English footballer, sportscaster, and popular British conspiracy theorist who believes the universe is made of vibrational energy and consists of an infinite number of dimensions that share the same space. He believes in an interdimensional race of reptilian beings called the Acrons and have hijacked the Earth and genetically modified us.
Okay, first of all, don't ever believe a former soccer player. Number two, and I could say that as a former soccer player, what was that second part? You are kidding or something, right? I mean,
no, I am not kidding. David Icke believes that we're becoming human Acron hybrids of shape-shifting reptilians known as the Babylonian Brotherhood or Illuminati, manipulating global events to keep humans in a constant state of fear.
Then we can control them. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So this guy, one, believes in David Icke's. He says he's willing to risk
right
10 or 20,000 to change my life dramatically for the better. I don't want to wait until my 80s to be financially set. So he's telling you should buy these cryptos: XRP, Cardano, and Dent, which I hope wasn't named for Harry Dent because he's roamed almost all the time.
I wonder if it is. Yeah, I wonder if it is.
Anyway, thank you for your comments. I really appreciate them because it made my day when I read them, and researching David Icke made it even more fun. Thanks so much.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
I just recently created a new and massively improved interactive edition of Financial Physics on iBooks, but I don't want to leave out those without an Apple device, although no other platform offers their interactivity. I have, however, created a free static PDF version of Financial Physics with an F that you can get right now at TalkingRealMoney.com. That's TalkingRealMoney.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
You can choose to build a better future based on insanity or science. You get to choose, and if you choose science, then we're going to try and help you build a better retirement at a class coming up along with attorney Rick Gregorick called Retirement Freedom. It's coming up in December. You can get tickets now at TalkingRealMoney.com.
We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for educational and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately, consistently predict the future. So past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Vestry, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and disclosures. That's a wrap.